Welcome to our community. Susie Thomas with you this morning. Always a pleasure to welcome our guest, Charla Elton, to the program. She is the superintendent of Heritage Christian School. Good morning, Charla.
Good morning.
Um, okay. Well, life's not been too normal for you since going back to probably February or March. So can we take a step back and tell us, how did you finish out the last school year, Charla?
Sure. So yes, what a surprising season, of course. I think surprising for everybody.
Yes.
Kudos to the staff and to the team. What we did is what you've heard of most districts doing. We flipped over to virtual, and our teachers started teaching remotely, and really proud of the work that they did very fast. Made sure all the students, we got devices out to all the students who needed them, and just went ahead and flipped over to virtual learning. It was neat to see the different teachers have their videos and their different Zoom sessions. Sometimes we would log in and pop into a classroom in progress with the students and get to say hello.
Oh, my. And how did the students respond to the change as well?
I think overall pretty good. Of course, you had some students who initially struggled either with the technology or getting used to this new way of doing things. Of course,
Yes.
Our littles, we flipped even our preschool over. So our youngest students used some more paper packets in addition to the online classrooms and the Google Classrooms. But overall, I think everybody really made the best of it, and I'm thankful to say a lot of learning took place still.
Mm-hmm. How was it working with the families? Were they able to have the equipment necessary to be able to help their students at home?
Yeah, so we went ahead and issued Chromebooks and tablets and laptops to families. Anyone who needed them, we were able to give them that technology to use from the school. So, as long as they had the internet access, we were able to provide the technology that they needed.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes, my hat's off to everybody. I just cannot imagine being able to turn on a dime like that and keeping the ball rolling. So you've had a bit of a summer to think about it, and now coming back to fall. How is Heritage going to do school this fall?
Yeah, so, we have a lot of different options, which I think is what everybody needs in this time, because although we're all in this together, we're all kind of in different boats.
Yeah.
And so we are actually in school. We have started our classes last week. So we are actually in school with our students who want to be in school. And, of course, for our in-school students, we've got lots of plans if we need to switch to virtual learning or if we need to, have only half the class come to just really reduce our numbers. We've got streaming options, that sort of thing. But what we rolled out in addition is a brand new option called Heritage at Home. And this is for the family and for the students who really want that all-home learning option.
What does that look like?
Yeah, so, teaching in the class and teaching online are kind of two different things. And our teachers did an awesome job of it in the spring, but we knew that it was really too much to ask or to think about for teachers to be teaching all day in the classroom and then trying to follow up with online learners.
Oh, right. It's double duty.
Evening. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we thought it was a bit unrealistic, even though we have the streaming capabilities from our classroom. We really thought it might be a bit unrealistic to have a 6-year-old or a 7-year-old sit in front of a device all day long just watching a classroom learn. So what we really wanted to do was partner with an online expert for the core of our classes. And then, of course, Heritage teachers will provide supplements. Heritage teachers will provide the art class and the music class and also all the extracurriculars as well. So we kind of think of it as the best of both worlds, a virtual expert with Heritage additions and supplements and enhancements. And we actually partnered with Liberty University for that virtual component.
So Liberty's developed something specifically for this? They were able to do that so quickly? They've got a virtual expert ready to help Christian schools do like Heritage at Home?
Yeah, absolutely. So they, I'm sure at the collegiate level, they've been doing it for a very long time.
Yes.
But I'm not actually sure how long they've been doing it at the lower age groups. But we had looked around at several different providers. Really, obviously, having a Christian provider was critical for us. And a lot of providers started maybe at third grade or middle school. So we were really happy to find Liberty, who goes all the way down to kindergarten.
Wow. One of the things that's so important those early years is that relationship between a child and their teacher. How do you do that with a digital expert?
Yeah, so I think it is more of a challenge. Definitely the parents are more involved at the younger age groups. But we feel that it's kind of, like I say, the best of both worlds. While they are on a computer for a core of their classes, they are also, they have kind of the best of Heritage with the music program and with the PE, and they can attend chapel either virtually or in person, and they can they can join our drama club, and they can do those sorts of things to still feel like they're part of the bigger school body.
Okay, I just have to know, how are you going to do? Are you going to do a play? Will it be a Zoom play?
Well, we are just starting the drama club now, so that remains to be seen.
Yeah.
But I think that we are. I don't know if we're going to do a full play this year, but probably like scenes and skits. But yeah, we actually have students who are starting to practice soon, and I'm not sure if it'll be a whole auditorium scenario. We'll have to. That remains to be seen.
I'm picturing each one in a little square saying their lines and almost Brady Bunch like.
Well, you know what? So many people have done really cool things that way,
Yeah.
but this is actually in person.
Okay. Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, Heritage is so well known for their arts. My goodness, the music department's always amazing, and the art department, the visual art, and the drama department. It's nice to see that you're finding a way to carry this on. Are the families comfortable, or is it just on an individual basis, case by case?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a case-by-case basis. We have about 150 learners in our building from preschool up through 7th grade, and then we have about 50 learners at home. And so I think right now it's everybody is at their own point of comfort and kind of just feeling this out. Of course, for the in-person students, we've rolled out a ton of protocols to make sure that they're staying safe. Of course, the distancing and the masks and sanitation and hand washing. And so all of that's very important as well. So I think that it's up to each family's comfort level, but we're really excited that we can offer a variety of options depending on what the families are feeling.
Tough on the families as well when you're having a job to go to and homeschooling your children, working in conjunction with the school. How are you partnering with parents?
Yeah, and that is a real challenge that I think we all heard families saying in the spring is, how on earth do we balance all of this?
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why we decided to go with a virtual expert in the Heritage at Home program, because with that, it's a little bit more self-paced for those components, and it's a little bit more. So if, for example, if mom or dad has time to work with the student in the evening time, that's fine. If they want to work ahead, they can. The only thing is they can't work behind, or else they'll get too far behind. But it's a little bit more self-paced, so that allows them that flexibility, that it's not a specific time that they have to be logging into a class every day, or a specific, it's not as time-bound, which is...
What does the classroom look like? The in-person, those who have chosen to come back in class, how do you keep kids away from each other? They haven't seen each other since February.
Right, yes. It's a real challenge, and basically we've kind of taken the classroom pod approach. So, of course, within the classroom, different teachers have different structural cues, like the plexiglass, and of course they're wearing their masks, or we have the distancing stickers on the floor. But really, we know that just naturally children are going to be children, and keeping them completely apart from one another 100% of the time. And obviously we give mask breaks, that sort of thing. So it's challenging, and we know it's also part of their social and emotional development to be social and be friendly. And by no means do we want to, make them, I guess, lose that portion of their development. So we've really adopted a pod approach. So each classroom, we're really trying to space from all the other classrooms. So typically we'll have combined learning where the older students will learn with the younger students. Unfortunately, that's the type of thing that right now is really discouraged.
Right.
At recess time, each class has their own recess items. They have their own little cones that they set up, and it's color-coded so the students know where their recess, area is. So we're really trying to keep the classes separate from one another. That way, just in case the students aren't distancing as well as as we would like, we're still minimizing the risk.
Right, right. And fortunately, statistics are showing that children seem to be a little more resilient with this thing than older people, but we still need to keep everybody safe. How are they doing with the masks, Charla?
I think day one was really strong. We're trying to do a lot of reminders. Our school nurse told us that research is showing that if you can tell students when their next mask break is, they tend to be a lot more compliant with it and mess with it less. So we're really focusing on that. We have to remind some of the littles sometimes, pull it up over your nose.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I think they really are giving it their best.
Did anybody come with some really great designs? Have you come up with an HCS mask yet to go along with their uniforms?
So it's funny, actually. Hub Victor did design an HCS mask, and it looks sharp. It looks great. I definitely need to get over there and get one myself.
Oh, I think everybody needs one. That just sounds pretty cool. Maybe something to sell to the alumni.
Right.
Have a little fundraiser there. But it just... Emotionally, how are they doing? I just feel for these and I know kids seem to bounce back better than adults sometimes, but I can't imagine going to school in 2020 right now and having your face covered up and having everything be different and everything look different, and even maybe picking up on some of the anxiety of the teachers, if there is that. Can you talk to me a little bit about just the general feeling there in the classroom?
Yeah, so obviously I think there is just a sense that everyone feels of this anxiety of what we're all going through. But I can tell you, after being away for so long, and it's probably just the honeymoon period here, but after being away for so long, the children seem excited. They seem really excited to be back in class. So normally we have one open house night. This year we spaced it out so that we had plenty of space and not too many people together. And just the excitement in the building made us all really excited. So it does help you to put your fears on the back burner temporarily when you see that they're so excited to be there and happy to be in touch with their friends and communicating with their friends again, even if it's a little different.
It seems like you've been handed the perfect object lesson for a teachable moment on faith. I'm sure the teachers are taking advantage of that. Are you talking about that with the children? Or they realize they're living it out?
Yeah, I think that is a really key point. And definitely something that Principal Corbett has been talking about in our devotion time and in chapel time is really, what do we do when things happen and we don't know what to do? Where do we cast our cares? Where do we place our anxiety? Because we aren't meant to carry it all. We don't shoulder the burdens of this world. Thankfully, we have a Savior who is able to carry those for us and to cast our cares upon Him. And so, while we make the distinction that it doesn't mean that we check our brains at the door and we're reckless, at the same time, we've got a peace that passes understanding, and that's really important in such crazy times like this.
For sure. We are speaking with, she is the superintendent of Heritage Christian School, Charla Elton, and we're going to be back after these words. You're listening to Our Community. Welcome back to Our Community. Susie Thomas with you this morning, visiting with Charla Elton, superintendent of Heritage Christian School. In a normal world, you go what age through what grade now?
So we are preschool through grade 7, but actually with our online Heritage at Home program, we're actually able to extend that up. We now are dipping our toes back in the high school water with a 9th grader.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Charlotte, I've said this over and over again, but this thing that brought so much chaos with it really has taught us to do things better, and in some ways something that we're going to take advantage of and continue on in the future? Do you see yourselves being able to bring back high school sooner than you would have thought by being able to do it online?
Absolutely. If you would have asked me a year ago if we would have a high schooler today, I would have said, "Oh no, not yet. We're
Yeah.
not. That's
Yeah.
that's not on our radar at this moment." I would have said probably in 2 years. So yeah, really thankful and blessed that now we have this opportunity to again start to dive into that water. Yeah,
Yeah, it's amazing what God does, isn't it? My
He
gosh.
can work through everything.
Everything, it all works together for good. Um, okay, well, I've got to talk about the teachers because you mentioned them. Such commitment to their students. I'm blown away by the teachers, and I know that they always every year have a list of things that they need to bring in. You've always got a teacher's list, and so often they use their own salary to do that. How can we help the teachers? Because this year's list is just so much bigger with disinfectant and wipes and so forth. How can we help the teachers at Heritage?
Oh, yes, and thank you for asking always. In a school environment, you can never have enough tissues. Of course, we stock up, and right now we've got Purell, and we've got the masks and gloves, but you can just never have enough of those items. And let me tell you, if you can find some Clorox wipes out there, and that and Lysol spray, that's a little hard to come by. But thankfully at the school, we have hospital-grade virus killer, that sort of thing that we use for our general cleaning. But yeah, having a Clorox wipe in the classroom is pretty priceless about now.
Are all the children staying in the same classroom at their same desks? Are they changing classes? That seems a little more problematic if you need to disinfect in between.
Yeah, actually, they are staying in their classrooms for the most part. The different specials teachers, so instead of them going to art class, now art comes to them. We do have two groups of students that use the cafeteria, and they're all spaced out. Our cafeteria seats probably about 150, and we only have about 30 down there. So everybody's all spaced out. But besides that, everybody else is eating in their classrooms. And so, yeah, they really do have more of that classroom time, which helps to keep them contained in the same spot, but yet still getting the activities they need.
So you did mention recess. Are they going outside for recess or at least just to a little bit of mask break?
Definitely. We are trying to get outside as much as possible. We know that fresh air is good, and I will say, being in an older building, our building is great for that. We have plenty of open windows and fans and getting that fresh air in. And yes, going outside for recess is a great way to, again, get that fresh air. If they are spaced more than 6 feet apart, they can take their mask off per the governor's order there. So that's really helpful to give the kids a little bit of a break from the in-class.
And then is there disinfecting throughout the day? Or what does a day kind of look like right now?
Yeah, so in the morning, we disinfect after the students go to their classrooms. We disinfect the different banisters, high-touch areas, doors, handles, etc. We do have a fogger, so that's really helpful because just within a matter of minutes, we can fog a space like our auditorium, a big space that the air kind of gets into everywhere and can fog it. We've got a pump sprayer, so different classrooms now have to take turns on the equipment. They have a specific day and a specific time that they're allowed when they're at recess to be on the equipment. And the teacher hoses down with the virus killer, hoses down the equipment before the kids can get on it in between each class. So it's an interesting new scenario, but we're certainly trying to do our all to keep everyone safe.
How has enrollment been affected?
Yeah, so enrollment overall, if you look at Heritage at Home, the home learning as well as our in-class learning, it's pretty steady. We added 7th grade this year. And our enrollment is up a few students in total. We knew that with everything going on, it just probably wasn't going to look like years before. So we're thankful to say that we, again, have a modest increase.
Well, that's wonderful. A lot of people can't say that. I know one thing that's so important with Heritage are the fundraisers. And fundraisers really got zapped this year. So have you been able to hold something? Do you have something in mind, even something online in mind? What are you doing as far as fundraising?
Yeah, thank you so much for bringing that up. In the springtime, we were to have an auction, and of course that got canceled. And like you say, a lot of our other fundraisers did get canceled. given this crazy time, we did roll out a new campaign, and it's called Assistance from a Distance. So a name just as we were all apart that people could still feel like they could contribute to the school and our mission there. So that's just purely online on our website, heritagechristianschool.org. But we are doing a spaced out and socially distanced golf outing on September 11th. So we invite you, anyone who would like more information on that can check out our website and get registered for our golf outing. So and of course, being outside, that's one of the outings that we can still keep doing, which is nice.
Oh, very nice. Okay, September 11th. So that's just about a week away, a little more than a week away. So is it too late to register to golf?
No, actually, we're still taking registrations this week. So hop on our website or hop on our Facebook page and check out the registration information there.
Where will this be held?
It's actually going to be held at Raintree Golf Course.
And foursome, or is everybody in a cart by themselves, or logistically, how are you playing?
I think there are lots of different options, but yes, we are accepting foursomes, which would be two people in a cart, or people could get their own cart or even walk. I know some are just going to walk and make sure they're away from everyone else. And, of course, we're having lunch outside and pulling out lots of chairs so that everybody's nice and spaced.
And hats off to whoever came up with Assistance from a Distance. That is about as cute as it can be. Go to heritagechristianschool.org and assist them from a distance. Just an amazing, wonderful head start that you give kids in their lives. I can just attest to that. Heritage has meant a lot to us in our past, and our boys got a great start there. Let's go back to like life in the real world, because this is going to be behind us, Sharla. We're going to get past this.
Amen.
And everything's going to look better in a couple of, at least, in a couple of years for sure. So tell us a little bit about, for someone who might be new in town, tell us a little bit about Heritage Christian School in a normal life. What happens there?
Yeah, so normal Heritage Christian School is what we're still trying to do now, even if it looks a little bit different. And our mission is the ABC. So A is academic excellence. Of course, we're a school. That's critical. And in addition to the core courses, we've got the specials and all sorts of fun things that we do. It's really a life-changing education experience. It's not just education. It's really about the whole experience. And the B in our ABC mission is Bible-based, of course. Our students have Bible as a core class. We have chapel once a week where we sing, we praise, we hear a message. And the C in our ABC mission is community commitment. We're really dedicated to our community outside our walls as well as inside our walls. We have a really warm, family-like environment, which we think is key. Most of our children do attend using one of the Ohio scholarships, making tuition free, which is just really awesome. And a lot of people don't realize that in the past there was always a deadline for that scholarship, but now, as long as the state doesn't run out of funds for those programs, there is no deadline. So we are actually still able to enroll now if we have a seat in the class.
Do you have any that are in danger of reaching that top number?
Definitely. A couple months ago, we actually had wait lists going for 3 of our classes.
Wow.
But with Heritage at Home and some of our families choosing that home education option, we now have a couple of seats. I think we're down to 1 or 2 seats in 4th grade, 2 or 3 seats in 5th grade. And so, some of the classrooms are getting, closer to what we're going to, cut off our limit. However, Heritage at Home is kind of an unlimited option, so that's really great.
That's awesome. So if somebody is still thinking about what you want to do this fall, go to heritagechristianschool.org and get more information there. Is there a number they can call, Sharla?
Certainly, 330-452-8271, and we'd love to answer all their questions.
Let's talk more about this Heritage at Home. Because it's opened up, now, is this a closed circuit kind of thing, a closed group, or is this something where anyone could attend a chapel, say, by tuning into some Facebook page or something?
Yeah, so we have, over quarantine time, we have published some chapels on YouTube, etc., but the Heritage at Home chapels, probably for the rest of the year, I'm thinking it might be a little bit more via streaming for the students who are enrolled. But in general, once we open back up and visitors are encouraged, we always allow visitors to come to our chapel in normal times. So those are usually Thursday mornings if somebody's curious and just wants to check it out.
It just seems like an awesome opportunity to parents to be even more involved in their child's education. If they're able to be there and don't work outside of home during, school hours, what an opportunity to be able to sit alongside your child and worship together and kind of sit in on some of the classes and then do the activities at home. Talk me through how that looks, because it sounds like a really good thing.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it, especially for parents who might have wanted to dip into homeschooling but just didn't really want to go it alone. I feel like it is the best of both worlds. So you have all of, your child has a facilitator at Heritage to walk you through all of the process. Make sure that your child's staying on track so that, give some extra muscle in case little one doesn't want to, log into science that day or whatnot. But yeah, all of the flexibility to where the parent can work with their child at home at their own pace. It really, I think, is an awesome complement of both. And along with that, getting the Heritage teachers who are teaching the art and the Spanish and the music, those are things that sometimes you might not be able to get in an purely online, program. So yeah, we're excited about it.
It really does. It really adds some heart there. Do you have tips for moms and dads on how to get it awful easy for a little one to be, okay, I'm tired of watching this show, of watching the school show. I think I'll go play. Any tips for keeping kiddos on track while they're learning this way?
Oh, yes. The one tip I've heard that works is whatever routine it is, create a routine and work on that routine. So maybe you get up, you have breakfast, you do school time for an hour and a half, and then you have a little recess break, maybe have some lunch, then maybe do homework again for 45 minutes or an hour, have a break. Whatever the process that seems to work well with your child, I would say just have a routine, because I think we all know that time gets away from us. So if we don't have something keeping us on track, I think all of a sudden we blink our eyes and it's bedtime and we haven't accomplished what we hoped to. So yes, whatever routine works best for your family, I would say create that structure and then stick to it most days. We all know not every day is going to go the way we think, but most days try to stick to that structure.
Well, great advice. Definitely do go to heritagechristianschool.org to find out more. Charlotte Elton, thank you so much for all you do in our community.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me today.